by Monday.
Hii kitu ni ngumu kama mjomba anaweza kujikunja hivi.
Benson Luganji, and I'm from Slot Game Kenya Limited.
We give them the first copies,
Our workstations are duly registered and licensed entities and are now on the verge of being closed permanently. Currently, as we speak, our lives are headed for doom. If the government will not intervene and solve our related crisis, the hope that was left now is dwindling slowly to drain. Our situation, when I talk about our situation, it is bad. That most of our members are now rendered homeless since they cannot pay their house rents as required. Some are clueless as to what to do with their families, and majority of our members are now depressed with the risk of permanent job loss due to the continued world over restrictions that have persisted for over 5 months now. Consequently, we feel that our freedom from servitude and right to fair labor practices have been infringed, since the laws and the bylaws are now being administered selectively by the multi-agencies working to combat the virus at hand. I.e., an example, we handle lots of foodstuff, and serve liquor, our esteemed clientele, alongside other services within the premises. And yet most of our colleagues who are categorized under these industries are already back to business. Moreover, majority of our employers are foreigners. Not all of them, majority. Who in the greatness of time will also opt out of business for reasons of stagnation, owing to the fact they are incurring more unnecessary expenses in this economy with no returns to that effect. When that happens, it will escalate our troubles and put our lives in limbo. Reasons being that a larger percentage of our colleagues are people like me that have worked for over 20 years, who cannot switch to other careers overnight or make retirement plans. Better still, will eventually perish from depression and related causes. So the membership has decided to highlight the following 3 grievances and wish to table them before you to be ventilated at length, since they are happening on the ground. 1. The casino industry has employed over 10,000 citizens who fend directly for over 30,000 direct and indirect dependents, more so children, with an exception of the larger families around us. It has reached a point that we have sent our immediate families up country to enable us survive individually. Contrary to the directive of the President and the Ministry of Health, we are putting the lives of our elderly people at our homes there at risk. Number 2, if it has not occurred to you, we are all jobless. When you say unpaid leaves, it means we are all jobless. There's nothing coming in, and we are supposed to survive on that. We are mentally depressed, financially incapacitated with nothing. It's only well-wishers have made us come here. With no house rent to pay, we have become squatters in the same houses we used to live due to landlord's pressure. Our children are now begging in the neighborhood so as to survive. Which begs the question, it really begs the question, are we fighting the pandemic or jeopardizing the lives of our little boys and girls, considering the resurgence of the teen pregnancies that are there, increased crime rate and drug abuse that is on the all-time high? Our industry is no different from the transport industry, where commuters, buses, airplanes are already back to work with strict health guidelines and are now conducting business as usual. Number 4. In the wake of this global pandemic, we have seen countries putting the well-being of their citizens at the forefront. Furthermore, employing strategies to reopen the economy, all inclusive. A good example is just around here in East Africa and part of the SADC, with an exception of Uganda, which has its own political reasons that we cannot even explain. The rest are on the verge of bouncing back to normalcy. These are Tanzania, Rwanda, and Zambia, to name just a few. We are very supportive of the World Health Organization measures in place to fight the pandemic, which is purely maintaining a clean ecosystem. And these are the proposals that we want you purely supervise in our immediate reopening. A, to maintain a physical distancing of 1.5 meters. Management will switch off one slot machine on a line. This means that we have 10 machines on a line, only 5 will function to maintain that physical distance. Land-based and live game tables to operate with staff wearing full masks or shields and gloves, with all types of equipment sanitized after every 30 minutes. Normally, most of the gaming staff, they work 20 minutes. So when they change from their positions, that is when they're going to do the sanitization. That's why we say 30 minutes. B, every individual coming into the premises be part of a temperature screening prior to entering the gaming premises. C, every individual to be registered at the entrance. We're talking of their names, their IDs, phone numbers, and residence. This will help in contact tracing if it arises. D, shift managers will enforce the government measures to uphold standards. D, all government measures will be displayed at the entrance, and before commencement of any shift, all staff will go through briefings to remind them so that it rings in their head throughout the shift. E, each gaming machine must be sanitized every 30 minutes, and upon arrival of a new punter. A punter is another name for a customer in the gaming jargon. Staff who handle cash will or must wear mask and surgical gloves throughout the entire shift. G, washrooms will be disinfected every 30 minutes. These will be under strict supervision, and whoever does not adhere to the stringent measures will be liable, which is punishable under the company rules and regulations therewith. And H, we seek your office to let us work from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day to accommodate at least 2 shifts, no matter how short the shifts are going to be, to include all of us in the resuscitation process.
As we are here, we are talking as employees, and we are ready to take the tests and go with the regulations from the Ministry of Health and whatever is needed to go back to work, because that is it. We can't go against the government regulations. We are willing to do anything to go back to work. As announced by our President Uhuru Kenyatta, gave out a stimulus package for the cautioning of the hospitality industry employees. This stimulus package never reached us as casino employees. So we know maybe the government might be squeezed financially, but now our plea and our plight is to ask the government to open for us our places of work, so that maybe we get pay from them, and we'll be able to take care of our families. According to what we heard is that about 1.2 billion Kenya shillings was given to the Ministry of Tourism, of which we as casino employees in our pay slips we see, and because we know that we pay tourism fund and also catering levy, we understand that there is about 1.2 billion that was given to the Ministry of Tourism for cautioning, and this one never reached us. So that is the amount that we are aware of. Kama tukikadiria kiwango cha wafanyikazi wa kasino, tuko kama 10,000, zaidi ya 10,000, na tukihesabu hiyo miezi yote tumekaa bila kufanya kazi ni zaidi ya miezi 5. Sasa hivi tunaelekea mwezi wa 6. Hiyo yote tumekuwa tuking'ang'ana kivyetu, sababu tulikuwa tunajua tu serikali inafanya juhudi za kupigana na hili janga, lakini sasa kama serikali inaweza tupatia huu mwezi kama kiwango cha 20,000 tu 20,000 ama kwa kila mtu, labda inaweza tusaidia kidogo, lakini ile tunalilia sana ni kwamba hata wakitupatia watatupatia kwa muda gani? Kwa hivyo kutufungulia makazi kwenye tunafanya kazi ni muhimu sana, manake hiyo ishapita na hatuwezi jua ilienda wapi. Lakini wakitupatia hata 20,000 kwa wafanyikazi 10,000 inatutosha kwa mwezi mmoja, lakini sasa watafanya kwa miezi mingapi?